Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. I'm sitting next to my Christmas tree, so that can only mean one thing. We're doing my end of year favorites. Today we're doing base. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Yes, it's that time of year. We're doing end of year favorites. I'm in my Christmas onesie. We have the Christmas tree right here, which I'm sort of like, I have to scoot all the way into it for it to be in frame at the same time as myself. Oh well. Merry Christmas, if that's what you're celebrating. Happy holidays and all that. Today, as every single day towards the end of the year, I will have a daily video for you with the products that worked really well for me, and also a video with some things that weren't quite right. So today I'm going to be focusing on base, so that's primer, foundation, and concealer. So let's just get to it. So what I've done for each one of these videos is that I picked 10 products that I really love and adore, and that I either tried for the first time this year or that are just really long-standing favorites, because for some categories I didn't always try a lot of new things. But in the base category, I most certainly did. The only primer I have for you is this guy. This is by Essence. This is the Jelly Grip Primer. And this is gone. It's used up because I loved it. Catrice did something very similar to this. It's a dupe essentially for the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. That's essentially what this product is doing. And the Jelly Grip Hydrating Primer was lovely. It's exactly like the Milk Makeup one, but at a fraction of the price. Of course, there are other dupes on the market for that product. The e.l.f. one, a lot of people loved as well, but it broke me out, so I didn't love that one for me. But the Essence one was very successful, so that's why this ended up being one of my favorites. I ended up trying 4 concealers that I really wanted to show you here. I actually did a roundup review of a lot of the concealers that I tested out in the past year. My favorite that came out of that video isn't here because I actually tried it last year. So I think it's actually in that video already. So that's why I did want to focus on some newer things. The only drugstore concealer I rate really highly that I tried this year is this guy from Maybelline. This is the Superstay Active Wear. I have mine in shade 05. This thing is lovely, but it's very difficult for me to link it. If I can still find any of these products online, I'll make sure to link them in the description box. They will be affiliate links though, so I could make a small commission if you do choose to shop through them. But yeah, this one is getting very hard to find. So I hope they don't discontinue it because it's been such a good drugstore concealer. But where it's at for me is definitely the higher end stuff. The minute I tried the YSL All Hours, I knew I had found a new favorite concealer. I actually kept this in my Shop My Stash several months in a row just to have something that I knew was always going to work for me. This comes with heaps of products, so even though this is a pricey product because you get a lot, I do still find it worth it. I have mine in LC1. The shade range of this can be really confusing. It pools very yellow. That's another reason why I didn't like feature some of the other lines that I did also like, because those also had very yellow shades. And this one, I was like, you know what? If I had to pick just one, I think this is the one that I like best all year of any of the concealers I really tested out this year, you could say. So the YSL All Hours is such a good one. Long wearing, doesn't crease, doesn't look dry and cakey. Just a really good all-rounder concealer. I just wish the shade range was better. Speaking of a much better shade range then, this is by Natasha Denona. And this is her High Glam Concealer. I have mine in R2, and this is quite possibly one of the most pinky toned concealers I have ever found. I did a little swatcheroo of some cool toned concealers earlier in the year, and this was definitely the most pink toned of the bunch. And it's pink toned without it looking peachy. Very often, if concealers do have a pink undertone, I find that they pull a little bit more peach on me, but this one is a true pink. With the Natasha Denona line though, I would very much recommend, if you can, to go into store to find your shade, because R2 is definitely not a very light shade if you look at them all swatched together. This is lighter than some of the names that are listed down. So you need to sort of really look at what shade might be right for you. This is not one I would have picked for myself if I hadn't seen it in store. So that's that. This is very dewy though. It is a very glowy formula, high glam. So if you don't like something that's dewy, I've actually heard people say that this creases really badly on them. I have dry skin, so for me this works like a charm, but I can see if you have oily skin that maybe you wouldn't love this. Then the YSL All Hours is a lot better. That's much more universally flattering, I think. And then at the end of the year, I ended up testing this one. This is the Estee Lauder Futurist Concealer, and it's no surprise to me that I ended up liking it so much. It's in shade 1C, and the reason why I wanted to test it out is because one of my all-time favorite foundations, which is on my face right now, is the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydrarescue foundation, and this is the matching concealer essentially. This was lovely. The shade is very, very light, which was very unexpected because so many of these brands don't do very light shades very well, but this is a light shade that works really well. It was perhaps a little bit too pale for when I was using it, so it's definitely more like a winter shade for me. But that's another thing that I have found with the Futurist foundation, is that it's better for me in like this time of year. Like I was trying to use it up this year, and around April time I had to stop using it because it just got too dewy. And as things heat up, my skin does start to produce a little bit more oil. So for my super dry winter skin, it's fine, but I don't think this will be right for me in the summertime. So it's not an all-rounder like the YSL, but it's dewy enough, and I really enjoyed what this does. So I'm gonna go back to this in the winter time for sure. And that brings me to foundation. So in terms of foundation, I tested mainly some drugstore foundations this year and K-Beauty Cushion Foundation. So that's where the favorites come from. It's from the trials I did there. I think in 2025, I do want to test out some more high-end foundations again. I would love to try that, what's it called? The MAC foundation that came out most recently, like the Radiance foundation, I think it's called. I never tried anything from Pat McGrath, like base-wise, so those are things I think I want to look into. But the Essence Skin Tint, let's talk things that I love this year. This thing was really, really good. I have it in shade 10 though, and shade 10 is the lightest shade. So if you're not my level of pale, but you're paler than this may not work. But this is a skin tint. It's dewy, it's lightweight. It's essentially a tinted moisturizer. Do I still use a moisturizer underneath it? Yes, because makeup is never going to hydrate or give you the SPF you need that it says on the packaging and that you want, because you're never going to apply enough of this. But for me, this was excellent, and I really enjoyed my Essence Skin Tint. And the final 4 products I have for you are all cushion foundations. So some of these, again, I did an entire cushion foundation roundup. There were more that I liked, but I wanted to limit myself to like the best of the best. And one that surprised me ever since I did that video in October for you guys, I wanted to just love this so much more. The only reason why I don't love the Unleasha Pink Glow cushion, I think that's what it's called, Don't Touch Glass Pink in 21N. The only reason I don't love this more is because this isn't a cushion foundation like most. I do apologize for how messy this looks, but you do you see that it has a mechanism here, and you press it and then the product comes out, which can squirt. And I got it all over my clothes several times, but the product itself, I'm not gonna lie, is really good. And it was one of the better shade ranges. So if I'm just careful with how I use this, I think I can use it up. I've definitely seen some other people wearing it again online. I was like, yeah, it did make my skin look really, really good. So I did want to list it here as one of the best things I tried this year. Another thing that I tried this year that I really love, but that is just a touch too yellow, is this cushion foundation. It's by Young Saimul, and this is the Essential Skin Nuder Cushion in Fair Light. So this is a traditional cushion where you get your little pad and a little thing here, and then inside it you get the product. So this is a little bit too deep and yellow for me, but the product itself is so, so beautiful. Young Sae-mul is a Korean celebrity makeup artist. That's what I've heard. And they have a makeup line that is sold, and I wish this was like better in terms of shade ranges because so many people would love this. But this is one I would love to go back to and use it up at some point. Cushion foundations don't take up much effort. Like, they don't take much effort to actually use up, in case you're wondering, because this is usually less than a standard size of a foundation, but some of the more expensive ones come with refill. I think this came with a refill, so I think I can get like 2 uses out of it. So you can click it out, and you can click a new compact in and use that. So this is definitely a lovely product. I just wish the shade range was a bit better. And then another one that I really enjoy, this is by Romand. This is their Bare Water Cushion in Pure 21. This is so, so lovely. Again, with the little pad, and then inside it, ooh, it's all over me. It's not, okay. Here's what it looks like. It's very watery, as you can see. So you definitely need to keep it shut. And I have it all over my finger here. And this is just a really lovely product. It's very hydrating, very dewy though. So if you don't like that kind of thing, you may not love this at all. And finally, we have the Moonshot Foundation. I believe this was discontinued though, so I'm not sure if you can still get this. This is shade 101, and this is really lovely. The reason why I'm not swatching these things is because they're so messy. So I'm gonna refer you to my blog if you wanna see swatches and what this looks like on my skin. Here is what the Moonshot cushion looks like. Again, very dewy, very hydrating, and this, both the Romand and this one were a bit more pinky tone, not as yellow as the other two. So those were all of the favorites I wanted to share with you in this video today. My end of year favorites have been kicked off with the base first because you need to start somewhere, and these were the things I tried that I really enjoyed. Stay tuned because I will be back with daily videos where I'm showing you other favorites that I tried this year or that I went back to consistently, because I think those need to be listed as favorites as well. So stay tuned for more, and then I hope to see you again very, very soon with a new video. Bye-bye.